is there really any point to the royal family?
Oh my God!
To exist? Because it seems to me that you're just giving money away that doesn't really need to be there.
Those are the world's biggest landlords.
Yeah, I mean, the royal family is a complicated one. Like, I have really mixed feelings on it because,
me too.
I hate the rest of the royal family, but for some reason, I like the Queen. I don't know why.
You all do.
I can't explain it, but I mean, like the royal family brings in like a stupid amount of money, in just in tourism, and like the amount that we pay them compared to the amount of money that they bring in tourism is it's like 20-fold. I think I cannot remember.
Okay, well that's good to know.
So basically, what you're saying is that Westminster Abbey and places like that are no different than people coming to Disney World. It's kind of
Buckingham Palace.
Sure.
All right. So my thing is like, I don't pretend, if I know that in principle am opposed to the idea of elitism, blue bloods, monarchy, all of that. Like the fact that certain people are just inherently worthier than others is just something that disgusts me to no end. So in theory, I'm opposed to it and I don't like it at all. However, I was a huge Princess Diana fan, huge. And so to me, anything having to do with like William and Harry and all of that is all like, those are Di's babies. Like I grew up, like I can't even. So that to me is something that's just because I like them.
I think Meghan Markle and Prince Harry have done the most tone deaf things that I can possibly imagine. Like we're literally in a situation where like poverty is skyrocketing. Like in Britain, like food bank use is skyrocketing. Yeah. There's 14 or 15 million people living in poverty in Britain. And Meghan Markle goes on Oprah in the midst of all this and complains that no one taught her about the royal family. She was like, as far as I'm concerned, she can like just go live in your mansion in like the California hills and get out, like just stop making it about you. Like we have so many more monstrous problems to deal with than listening to her whine about not being accepted by the royal family. It's like, oh my goodness, someone wasn't accepted by their in-laws. That has never happened in the history of marriage ever. Like,
no, I definitely don't see her as a victim by any stretch, and that the timing of everything is definitely not right. But the fact that there's people are saying, you mean that they're racist, is a little bit like, where have you been? like of course they're racist.
I think that's a great segue where. From a European perspective, I mean, we know how bad corporate media is in the United States. You guys have your own, it's tabloid.
Interesting that theirs is conservative. Like you say, your media is conservative, but I think your conservative is our liberal. So most importantly, what's your conservative?
I mean, like the kind of like right wing, like free market, laissez-faire sort of like heritage foundation style of politics,
like a Reagan Republican, right?
Yeah,
no, that sounds like a Democrat to me. What he's describing.
No, I'm saying that their version is something that would be like a throwback to the.
So they don't have conservatives like we have conservatives.
No, we have people. Yeah, well, the problem, of course, is everything that transpired. I always say a lot of it started in Reagan's. I mean, things started obviously when Reagan became president. Labor was crushed. Not just in the United States, but probably globally as well, when he fired the air traffic controllers in 1981, and there was not a single union that stood up to him. And
that's when we lost labor.
Yeah, piecemeal as it went forward, obviously the massive tax cuts, of course, the one in 83 was justified, the one in 86 was not. Then, of course, you remove the fairness doctrine in 87. That's when the whole falling apart of the media really started. And then under Clinton, it went into the stratosphere, like people still are in total denial about. Obviously, between NAFTA and normal trade relations with China, but then ultimately the 96 Telecom Act. I'm curious as to what the European consensus of people that you talk to think when they see our media, and especially the way it's been over the past several years, the sensationalism, the fact that it's rooted in such limited substance, and it's all about divide and conquer. There is very little, if anything, that is used as benefit. And let's be honest, there's a lot of content creators and independent media who basically make their living off of critiquing corporate media. So there's definitely a significant problem to that. And I'm curious as to how you guys see the way we deal with things here in this country.
I mean, I guess like I think it really depends how much you pay attention. Like you mentioned Reagan there. We had this thing where Margaret Thatcher and Rupert Murdoch made this very nice little deal where she would not push like an investigation, or she would not allow an investigation into Rupert Murdoch's takeover of the Times and the Sunday Times. Which like pushed his share of the British media beyond what we consider to be acceptable under antitrust laws. And in exchange, he agreed to back her. So since then, Rupert Murdoch's had a ridiculous outsized influence on the British press, and our tabloid media that makes up like 80% of our print media is owned by like a handful of incredibly wealthy press barons that probably don't have the best interests of the people at heart, I get the feeling. But like our view of your media is really dependent on how much people are paying attention, because I personally look at it, but I'm so like I watch a lot of what's going on in America because I see it as like warning signs for what we're going to get a few years later. But British opinion on the American media, I think, is incredibly limited. Like I sometimes see people that I just expect to know better. There's two that come to mind. Andrew Adonis, who's Lord Adonis, who tried to run for the Labour Party as a candidate but didn't get elected, and Peter Stefanovic, who is like a trade unionist, like a leader of both of them I have seen make the comment, and you're gonna laugh so hard at this. They have made the comment, we need a fair, impartial media outlet in the UK like CNN. They have actually said that.
Well, one thing I'll say in Stanovic's defense is that, are you talking about CNN, like CNN in America? Or are you talking about CNN World?
No, CNN America.
No, CNN World is different. It is. You got to call a spade a spade. It's not great, but it's not the propaganda.
They were talking CNN in America.
Yeah, if they're talking CNN in America, I mean, that's scary.
Well, they're just stenographers. That's all they are.
And as you've seen,
it's not reporters.
And as you've seen, across the ocean, the fact that, and again, I don't know how bad I'm assuming nepotism is probably
they have
bad
a monarchy.
Well, yeah, of course. I'm saying just in business in general. But the idea that Chris Cuomo would have a primetime media spot if his last name wasn't Cuomo, much like anything else, is a joke. And the idea he's still on TV.
And that's impartial CNN.
Yeah.
That's very independent CNN.
Like, as far as I'm concerned, because of what has come out about Andrew Cuomo, Chris Cuomo should be out of a job. Like, period. This shouldn't even be a thought. And the fact that they wasted so much time, and on top of the fact that he went out and got that freaking vaccine ahead of everybody, and everyone's like, well, he would have just done it for his family. I'm like, it just goes to show that they're trying to turn everything into a serfs class. And I hope that there's enough pushback at some point where people start to recognize that. And I do think that there is enough people to combat that. But like I said, one of the biggest problems we have in this country is people don't want to check their egos. They like playing on teams. They like being separated. They like identities. I'm a liberal. I'm a conservative. I'm this and that.
This brings it back to the echo chamber that we were talking about at the very beginning. And that is what plagues us.
Yeah.
That's what plagues us. And I think that it plagues us here locally. It plagues our country. Like, it's every little part of microcosm where you would find people just want to be with people that agree with them in their little safe spaces. And we're getting so more and more broken and disconnected.
You're never going to get anywhere if you think that your goal is to basically talk amongst the same people, because the truth is 99.9% of the time, especially when it comes to the people in charge, like Rupert Murdoch, the only way you would ever get Rupert Murdoch to change his ways is if it affected his bottom line. That is the only way that he would change. And that's the only way anybody else would change. If you think that by telling other people, especially people that are in the working class, that we don't need you, you've already lost.
Yeah.
Like, it's already over. So don't even bother wasting your time. I don't know if there is sort of that consensus that's happening, but I think it's very important that people truly do understand that the UK and the United States share a lot of similarities, But the type of programs that you have, which at least allow people to live in dignity, even if they're suffering, is something that we don't have in the States. And the idea that we can keep going at the bare minimum without a universal healthcare system and without some type of a universal basic income to either make up for what's happened over the course of this pandemic or to even have a living wage, it's not going to stand, because at some point people are just not going to have it anymore.
Thanks for watching. If you want to support our mission to transform politics into service, please like this video, subscribe, follow us on social media, and consider joining our Patreon, where you'll get early access to our interviews as well as other exclusive content. Links are in the description. Peace out.